Want to know the secret to a happy relationship? Well, for more and more couples, it's living apart. Our anchor, Tiffany Kenny, has more on what's behind this growing trend.
Tammy Lamb has been with her partner for nearly 3 decades.
We met when I was 32 and he was 37, and we are now in our 60s.
What makes this Tampa couple's committed relationship unconventional is that they've never lived together.
It was, we didn't plan to do that, but it was just, I wasn't going to live where he lives, and he had his office where he was, and it's just been great the way it is.
Tammy was ahead of her time because living apart together, or LAT as it's called, is a growing trend, and couples have different reasons for doing it. Tammy likes her independence and alone time.
I had a job that I used to work for Visit Tampa Bay, and I used to book citywide conventions. And so I spent a lot of time having to talk to people, entertain people and stuff like that. So when I came home, I just wanted to be by myself.
According to data from the U.S. Census Bureau, an estimated 4 million married couples live apart. One survey suggested that around 10% of adults in Europe, the U.S., Canada, New Zealand, and Australia live apart together. Up to a quarter of people in Britain are doing it. On Facebook, there are dedicated groups to couples who live apart together. This one, called A Partners, has more than 4,000 followers.
Is living apart together the secret to a happy relationship?
Well, maybe not for everybody, but it's a happy way for a lot of people, more people than I really had anticipated.
Author Vicki Larson has researched and written about LAT and is currently co-authoring a book on the subject. She says her research has shown couples who live apart feel happier, more committed, and less trapped.
It's a way that they can have a romantic relationship and be committed and not lose their sense of self.
Larson says the arrangement benefits divorced parents who aren't ready to blend their young families and older women who've been divorced and widowed and want to be free of traditional gender roles.
And it's not to say that there isn't any caretaking when you live apart from someone. Obviously, someone is sick or whatever. You're going to take care of them, and maybe you'll even do their laundry or cook for them or whatever. It's just that it isn't so prescribed. There isn't an expectation. And if there isn't an expectation, then you can break free from that.
But living apart together doesn't work if there are insecurities in a relationship or only one person is in favor of it.
I think if somebody is going into it or one partner wants to do it and the other partner is feeling rejected, I don't see how that's going to work. I think that both partners have to really be on board for it to work.